Yeah, with all my heart.
Yes.
I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
First, give honor to the Most High. Just truly excited to be here. I want to thank Prophetess Hopkins and her husband for allowing me this opportunity to be here today. It's truly an honor to be here amongst you guys today on this special day. And for the star, Sister Egypt, Day of Dedication. We wanted to be here before, but as I told them, I'm supposed to be in Atlanta this weekend. But I knew that when it happened, that I was supposed to be here. And when we was here earlier during the worship, it was confirmed that I was supposed to be here. We love worship, man.
Hallelujah.
And as Prophetess was saying, we from Anson County. And we was over there a few years ago thinking we was alone too. So we found out there was somebody over here in Laurel Hill on Old Wire Road, the road that I used to take to Fayetteville State all the time. Man. And I couldn't wait to get down here. And then she said, I can speak when I get here. Win-win. All praise. So it's just truly a blessing to be here today. But we're not going to wear your patience today. The Most High told us to come down here today to give a word of encouragement, inspiration. Because we understand all of the things that we're dealing with in this country. We know a recent bullseye has been put on our back with the different laws that have been passed. We know the obstacles many of you are facing with your families. We know the inner turmoil some of you are having and receiving this truth. Fighting amongst, not fighting, but just the inner storms amongst your families. It's always something, always a mountain or a hill, whether it be physically, whether it be emotionally, whether it be psychologically, whether it be systemically, whatever the case may be, the devil is always at Israel's neck. And even more so now that we understand who we are. So, before we go into the word today, I hope you guys, I know you guys love to worship. So I want to go into one more song.
That's all right.
And what I need you guys to do before we go into this song, I just need you to just close your eyes. And I need you to just begin to block out the things that on your mind, because the great thing about the Most High is that he has the ability to bring us into a place of peace and tranquility. But a lot of times our minds are so focused on what's wrong, we can't see what's right. So I just want you to just go into this peace and just allow the Most High to minister to
Oh,
your
now
spirit.
heal me. Psalm 6, verse 2.
There's some things that may not be right now. But there's a lot of things that is right. So let's thank him for that. We know some things that he needs to do for us. We know some healing that needs to take place. But he has done so much for us already. So just, I want to remind you of Luke the 17th chapter, when Hamashiach came across the 10 lepers. And they screamed out and said, Son of David, have mercy upon us. And he said, go and show yourself to the priest. And the Bible says that as they went, they were healed. Not that he laid his hands upon them, not that he went and told them to go in the water. He says, as they went, they were healed. So by the power of the blood that is given to me, the authority that is given to me today, with every problem, with every situation that was wrong in your life before you left the house today, because you looked past that and you came on, I decree that everything is healed.
Praise God. Hallelujah.
But the Bible says that as one of them, when he looked at himself and realized that he was healed, and he turned back and he began to worship him and thank him. He had a family that he wanted to get back to. He had a life that he wanted to live. But he said, I can't go back to that unless I give him thanks for what he just done for me. And the Bible says that because he worshiped him, Christ says, thy faith has made thee whole.
All I can say is thanks.
So if you want him to just heal you, don't say nothing. But if you want him to make you whole, it's your time right now to worship him right now.
Hallelujah. Yes. Hallelujah.
If you don't want just a financial blessing, but you want all of it, if you need every bit of it in your life fixed, this is your opportunity right now to get it. Long before he got to the priest, long before he got back to his family, long before he got the money, long before he got the joy, he said, thank you.
Hallelujah. Yes.
And because of that, he was made whole. You have an opportunity here today. You have an opportunity to not leave this Sabbath with anything missing, anything broken. It's all on your faith and it's all on your praise. You have control. You have the authority. You have the ability to get it. I don't know what it is that you need, but I know someone who can do it for you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Don't you know he's going to have mercy? Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, he got you. Don't worry. Tell him, don't worry. He got you. Hallelujah. 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 Let's give him some praise. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Kad, Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Alahaya Ahaya Kad, Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Alahaya Ahaya Kad. Hear, O Israel,
Hero Israel,
the Lord our God is one.
the Lord our God is one.
First, giving honor and praise to Ahaya Bahashem Yeshai Rorawak, to Prophet Father Hawkins, to each and every one of you, we thank you for this opportunity to be here today. And I just thank for you, each and every one of you, for allowing us to be before you today. And as I said before, we have a word of encouragement here today. So for those who have your apocryphas, could you please go with us to Baruch, the 4th chapter? And I love what Prophet has said today. Earlier, he said, we can't get caught up in who's saying what and who's saying this. Matter of fact, Deke, before we go to there, let's go to Zephaniah 2, right? Y'all don't got to turn there. Go ahead, Baruch. But I want to confirm what the prophet has said today. And let her know that blessed us today.
Praise God. Praise God.
Let us go to Zephaniah and confirm what the prophet has said today.
Praise God.
Go to Zephaniah. And that's chapter 3. Verse 9. And let's get that reading, D.
For then will I turn to the people of pure language.
Read that again.
For then will I turn the people to a pure language,
Uh-huh.
that they may all call upon the name of the Lord,
Right.
to serve him with one consent.
With one consent.
Praise God.
So when people are so caught up in all of this stuff, that ain't nothing but division, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be on this thing together. So I just wanted to confirm that, and that blessed me, prophets, when you said that, because I wanted to be known.
Praise God.
We didn't say together.
Praise God. Praise God.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Praise God.
Now, let's go to Baruch 4th chapter. And if we can leave for a title today, we would like to leave one we hope stays with you throughout your journey, and it's entitled, Don't You Dare Throw in the Towel. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Now, we understand that you've been given every reason in the world to quit. Okay? We have 100 reasons to quit. We get a new reason to quit every day. But I declare to you today that if you can think of one reason every day to continue to fight, that one reason will be the reason that you go to the next day, and the next day, and the next.
That's right. Praise God.
So some of us have been aware of this recent persecution that is coming to Israel. So this is why we want to start here in Baruch the 4th chapter, because you need to understand why. Because one of the things that our Christian brothers and sisters are struggling with is because they don't have the answer to this question. Why us? When they turn on the news and see us dead in the streets, the pastors are not giving them the answer to why. In the barber shops and then the hair salons, when everyone is saying, why are these things going on in our community? No one has the answer why. When it seems like we're the only people that's going through hell, we're the only ones getting raped, and we're the only ones getting kidnapped, we're the only ones getting persecuted and oppressed, no one can answer the question why.
Praise God.
And so if you don't know the answer why, then you're going to be kind of looking at yourself like, is this worth it? So we want to show you why this is happening, so that you will not dare throw in the towel. Let's go to Baruch the 4th chapter, and let's start there at verse 1D.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High,
Right?
and the law that endureth forever.
Mhm.
All they that keep it shall come to light.
Read that again.
All they that keep it shall come to light.
Now, the law done away with.
All they that keep it shall come to light.
So what that means? If we're not keeping the law, we will come to what? Death. Look at our communities. We are a lawless generation. It's a church on every corner, though. But the thing that's going on in those churches is that they're telling you not to keep the law. Read that again, D. He says what?
All they that keep it shall come to light.
Mm-hmm.
But such as leave it shall die.
Read that again.
But such as leave it shall die.
What happened when we left that law? Look at our communities prior to the civil rights movement. And look at it now. Look at it now. Those same communities. Look at Harlem now. Look at Southside Chicago now. Look at Durham now. Look at Wilmington now. Look at those areas, how they look. Go back and do some research for the young people and look at these communities pre-civil rights, and then look at what happened when we start asking the government to help us out and start went away from the Most High. Watch this, verse 2.
Turn thee, O Jacob,
Turn thee, O Jacob.
and take hold of it.
Uh-huh.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof,
Uh-huh.
that thou mayest be illuminated.
Now, wait, what?
That thou mayest be illuminated.
What happens is, the Bible says in Psalms 19, verse 8, it says that the law would illuminate your eyes. You would now have the ability to see what's going on in the world. You'll be watching the news with some people, and they're going to see one thing, and you're going to see another. Everybody talking about, man, I hope Trump get impeached. But Israel saying, our king is on the throne. We ain't worried.
Exactly.
It don't make no difference who up there. Our king is on the throne.
That's right. That's
And the thing about the prophet is, he didn't take our vote on it.
Not at all.
So that's the only thing I'm concerned with. Why are these things going on in the earth? It's in the prophecies.
It's in the front. That's it.
I don't need to watch the news what's going to happen. All I got to do is go to Isaiah, Jeremiah. He already told me. But if I'm in the church that's telling me don't worry about the Old Testament,
How will I know?
how will I know? When the situation happened in Egypt, I wasn't surprised because the Bible said go on to Egypt. When the situation happened in Syria the last couple of years, I wasn't surprised because you know what it said? Go on to Syria. The Most High is paying back everyone who did that to our people. It's there.
It's there.
But if you don't know who you are, you won't even understand why these things are happening. Watch this. Verse 3.
Give not thine honor to another.
Read that again.
Give not thine honor to another.
Right?
Nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
Listen, man. We've taken all of our talent and our gifts and given it to the Gentiles, and they have used it and abused it and exploited it, and now what do we have? Nothing. Look at everything Bill Cosby gave and look how they did it.
Yeah.
Look at everything R. Kelly gave and look how they're doing.
Yeah.
Look at all of our celebrities, all of our rap stars, all of our musicians, actors. After they get done with them, what do they do? Throw them to the wolves. Look at how they do the pastors. The pastors lie to their congregation for years, and then when they're done, what do they do to them? Throw them to the wolves. Watch this. Verse 4.
O Israel,
O Israel.
happy are we,
Mm-hmm.
for things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us.
Are made known unto who?
Are made known unto us.
Unto the world.
Unto us.
Unto who?
Unto us.
Uh-huh.
Be of good cheer.
Be of good cheer.
My people.
Uh-huh.
The memorial of Israel.
Be of good cheer. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Watch this. Verse 6.
You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction.
Not for your destruction. I know that's what it looked like, y'all. I know that's what it feels like sometimes, right? Watch this. Go ahead.
But because you moved the Most High to wrath,
Right.
you were delivered unto the
You
enemy.
were delivered unto the enemy. You have to know that. I told a guy in the barbershop the other day, he's like, man, I ain't supporting no candidate unless they give me reparations. I said, brother, you're going to be waiting on the rest of your life. He said, Rev, what you talking about? I said, man, they can't give me nothing they can take away from me. So you saying the white man needed slavery? I said, no, he didn't. My Bible says that I was enslaved because my ancestors went away from the law, statute, commandments.
Right.
And this is the reason why our people are angry, because they believe that someone else had more power over you. No, we took that power and gave it away.
Sure did. Yes.
And then once you realize who you are, that power comes back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, equality is a downgrade.
Right. It's the true video. Hallelujah.
You understand? That's a downgrade. And this is why the Gentiles preach this of equality and we all the same in Christ, because they understand that brings them to our level. But when you understand that you're Israel, you understand that you are a nation above all people.
Yes.
Equality is a downgrade. So anyone that's out there protesting for civil rights do not know who they are. I don't care about no civil rights when I have divine rights as Israel.
You better say it.
You understand? Don't you dare throw in the towel. When I know when you want to. I know it's hard. But don't you dare throw in the towel. Now, for a second time, let's go down to verse 27. Watch this.
Be of good comfort.
Be of good comfort.
O my children.
Right?
And cry unto the Most High.
Cry unto the Most High.
For ye shall be remembered.
You shall be remembered. I know it feels like he done forgot us, but ladies and gentlemen, the fact that we're here on the Sabbath is proof that he haven't forgot us. Watch this. Go ahead.
For ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon
You
you.
see that? Listen, it's just like when we was a child and we got punished. Didn't you still eat that night? That whooping man felt bad, prophetess. But they still fed you that night. you still got to sleep in the bed, right? So we get so caught up in the punishment and not understanding why we were punished. You have to understand what's the purpose of this stuff so that we can learn from it. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Watch this. Verse 28.
For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High,
Right.
so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Read that again, D.
Ooh,
For it
hallelujah.
was your mind to go astray from the Most High.
We made a decision to go away from the Most High. Did we not? We can't blame this on nobody else. We made a decision to go away. Watch this. Now what?
So being returned,
Now that we are returned,
seek him 10 times more.
seek him 10 times the more. Watch this. Verse 29.
For he that has brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Tell your neighbor, neighbor. Come on now. I know we ain't in the church, but we got to do it today.
That's
Say,
all
neighbor, don't you dare throw in the towel. All right now. Now, hold up, man. Bring me back to Sunday now. Come on. I want us to encourage each other today. I want us to inspire each other today. We in this thing together, Miss Bob, right?
That's right.
Now let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Go to 1 Corinthians 10. I need you to hold that and get Luke, the 19th chapter ready. 1 Corinthians 10. I need you to hold that and get Luke, the 19th chapter. Watch this. First Corinthians 10 and get Luke 19. Ready. 1 Corinthians 10, let's start there at verse 11.
Now all these things happen unto them for examples,
Right.
and they are written for our admonition,
Right.
upon whom the ends of the world are come.
So we must understand that Romans 15:4 says that the Old Testament was written for our learning. These things are recorded so that we can go back and see what we did, how we went off, so we can learn to do better.
Praise God.
Right?
Hallelujah.
Who in here got extra siblings? You got extra siblings? Is you the oldest or the youngest? You're the second youngest, right? So you got an older sibling. You saw the mistakes they made, right? You like, I ain't doing that, right? You saw when they got in trouble. You like, I ain't never gonna do that, right? You learn. Now, I ain't going that way because I saw my sibling fail. Well, it's the same way we have to do. We saw our ancestors fall. We saw what happened as a result. And now when we look back on these things, we say, okay, they fell as a result of the law. I must keep the law so I don't fall, right? Oh, she good, let her do her thing. This is her thing, right? This is what we have to understand, right? Watch this, verse 12.
Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall.
You see that? Because once you start getting swag, man, and think you got this thing figured out, that's when the devil gonna come in and hit you with that left hook that you don't see coming. Listen, grace is unmerited favor, but grace don't block the thing. Grace is the opportunity. I try to get people to understand. Great. Look at it from the perspective of your light bill, right? Your light bill due on the 5th. You don't pay it. Do your lights go off?
Yep.
No, it don't.
No.
No, it don't go off. They give you what they call what? A grace period. Sometimes 10 to 14 days. But what happens after that 10 to 14 days? That light go off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our grace periods until the lights go off. And when that lights go off, we can't come back on. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? So if we want these lights to stay on, right? Read it again. Read it again. He says what?
Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth
So if you think you got this thing figured out, watch this.
take heed lest
Take
he fall.
heed lest you fall. Because the devil is a crafty individual.
Oh, wow, yes.
The devil is using the Bible to convince people to break the law. Do y'all realize that, right?
Yes.
Ain't that what he did to Hamashiach in Matthew 4?
Yes, he did.
But if he hadn't knew the Bible, if he hadn't knew Torah himself, he would have tripped them up. He would have jumped off that building. You understand? I'm telling you, you got to be ready out here, man. Devil's playing all his cards right now. Watch this. Verse 13.
There has no temptation taking you, but such is coming to man.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know sometimes it may feel like when you're going through, like, I'm the only person in the world dealing with this. This has only happened to me, man. My promise is unique to the world. Give me 1 Peter 5 and 9. Watch this. Let me preset that, make sure that we confirm that. 1 Peter 5 and 9. So I know it may feel like it, like man, why me? Woe is me. I know it's sometimes because some of you don't went through some crazy stuff. Right? It's crazy. I'm not going to be insensitive to what you're dealing with. Right? But watch this. 1 Peter 5 and 9.
Whom resisted steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
You see that? The same affliction your brothers and your sisters are dealing with. They may not just see it. This is why I tell people all the time, stop getting caught up on social media. Because the only thing that is highlight reels. That's highlight reels. They ain't the whole game.
It's true.
So when they don't put in all these things that they like so great, they're not showing you the time they had to cry themselves to sleep. They're not telling you. She's showing you how she had this great date, but she's not telling you the time she got left standing. When he's telling you all that money, he ain't showing you what he had to do to get that money. Don't get caught up in these highlight reels. You understand? Watch this. 1 Corinthians, let's go back. So read that again, verse 13. It says what?
There has no temptation taking you, but such as incumbent to man.
Right.
But the Most High is faithful.
But the Most High is faithful. Go ahead.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
So ladies and gentlemen, watch this. Read the last part of that.
But will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape.
So this is what I need to let you guys know today. This is one thing you can take from your situation. If you're in it, the Most High know you have the strength to get through it.
That's
Because
right.
if it was
That's
there to
right.
destroy you,
That's
he would have
right.
got you out of it a long time ago.
Praise God. Praise God.
The second thing you need to learn in that thing is this. If you're dealing with the same problems, then that lets us know that the test that we have failed, the test we must take again.
Absolutely. Right.
You understand? If you fail that driving test, you're not going to leave there with a license. You understand? It's not going to happen. You're going to have to take it over again. You fail the 10th grade, they're not going to put you in the 12th grade. That's not how it works. And the reason why the Most High does these things is because he loves you. He wants better for you. So if you're in a situation and it has not ended yet, it's something there you need to see. Stop worrying about the storms of life, ladies and gentlemen. Stop trying to find an umbrella and let the worryings of them storms water your seeds.
Hallelujah. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Stop worrying about an umbrella. Take the water. It will water your seeds and you will find yourself flourishing if you embrace the storm in the manner in which you should.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Don't you dare throw in the towel. Now let's go to Luke 19. Let's go to Luke 19. And we're going to go there to verse 28. Now, I need y'all to see something. I need y'all to open your minds up as we go into here because we got to take this from two separate approaches. Some of you are waiting to be delivered, right? But some of you are the deliverers. You understand? Some of you have a calling on your life where you're going to be out going to get the people. It may not necessarily be preaching or teaching, but you, in your calling, your profession, your career, your livelihood, something in you, something that you're called to do is going to bring ministry to people, right? But some of you are in a place where you're waiting to be used. You're waiting to be rescued. You're ready to be delivered. And I need you to see something significant here, right?
Praise God.
Luke 19, let's start at verse 28. Watch this.
And when he had thus spoken, he went before ascending up to Jerusalem.
Right?
And it came to pass when he had come nigh to Bethphage and
Uh-huh.
Bethany at the mount called the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples, saying, Go ye into the village over against you, in which at your entering ye shall find a colt tied, whereon yet never man sat, loose him and bring him hither.
Right.
If any man ask you, why do you loose him? Thus shall ye say unto him, because the Lord hath need of him.
Now, I need y'all to see something here. When you go back into verse 29 here, the city of Bethpage and the city of Bethany would have been equivalent to like right here down here on 74, where you have here, where you're in Laurel Hill, and then right when you get to the exit of the road here, you can take 74 and you can go into Laurinburg. It was right there together, right? Bethany is a city where Lazarus, Martha, Mary, all these people lived. He had mad family, mad believers, many disciples who lived in Bethany. But this is what you guys need to see here. Prophet is, he didn't send them to Bethany. He sent them to Bethpage. And the word Bethpage means dry land, unharvested place. So, what am I saying? Some of you have been depending upon family members. You've been depending upon supporters. You've been depending upon people who know you and believe in you. And this next stage that you're going through, you can't depend on them anymore. And now you're going to have to go in places strictly by faith. You think they could have easily went into Bethany. Lazarus would have gave him a coat. Martha would have gave him a coat. They could have got a coat easy there. But now he was teaching them, no, it's not about the people you know. It's about who you know.
Hallelujah.
Y'all see that?
Beautiful.
So a lot of times we're comfortable and we're willing to go do it because we got the money. We're willing to go do it because somebody's going to give us something. Or we got the people that's going to come out. But this next stage that you're going into your life, it ain't going to be a lot of people supporting you. You're going to have to strictly walk by faith. You see that? So I'm telling you right now, for you ones who are called to do something greater, you must understand that everybody's not going this time. This next season that you're in, the Most High is telling me to tell you that it's not going to be a lot of people handing out money. It's not going to be a lot of supporters. Social media ain't going to be buzzing and sharing it. It's going to be strictly about faith. Watch this. Verse 32.
And they that were sent went their way, and found even as he had said
And they
unto them.
found as he said unto them. Do you understand the faith that it takes to go to somewhere right now? If I tell you right now, go down here to the nearest car lot, you're going to see a Cadillac Escalade down there. Get down there and tell them the elder said he has need of it. How many of y'all willing to go? Be honest with me. Ain't none of you going. Right? So imagine going into a city where you have no friends, no connections, and go up to this man and see a horse there and say, yo, the Lord have need of it. Just imagine going and seeing that coat and it was tied up just like that. Just imagine. Because I bet the whole way they was walking like, yo, man, I don't know, bro. Man, Yeshua might be tripping this time. I don't know. Man. You sure, bro? Man, he ain't failed us yet, man. You remember with the 2 fish and 5 loaves, bro? He set it off. You know? Right? So, but imagine that just going takes faith. They probably like, man, I don't know, man. I ain't tripping this time. Let's just go buy a horse. Right? But you can't do that. You have to trust him. Watch this. Read verse 32 again. Watch this.
And they that were sent went their way, and found even as he had said
And
unto
when they
them.
went by faith, they found him sitting right there waiting on him. Watch this. Verse 33.
And as they were loosing the colt, the owners thereof said unto them, why loose ye the colt?
Now, I need y'all to see two essential things here. Notice that they didn't ask for permission. Ladies and gentlemen, when you know the Most High told you to go do something, do not wait on permission from anyone.
That's right.
You cannot wait on the recognition and acknowledgement of people. They're not going to understand. You know why? Because he didn't tell them. Just by way of testimony, we started Better Day Ministry in 2012. Right? I was waiting on my pastor to affirm me. Right? To open a door for me. Guess how many events we did in 2012? 1. because I was sitting around waiting on sponsors, sitting around waiting on people to give, sitting around waiting on people to come out. We did one youth event, a 3-night youth event, and that's it. That was in February. And I sat the whole year waiting, writing letters and going having meetings and calling these different pastors and all these people that I used to fellowship with. And none of them came. None of them sold. None of them believed. None of them opened their doors. And when I came around 2013, prophets, I said, if I got to take my own money, I'm going to go get this seminar room and we're going to make it happen. I gave everything I had. We bought a whole bunch of food and we did it. And guess how many people came?
Everybody.
3.
Oh, wow.
Y'all thought it was a success, didn't you? Oh, no. We had 120 pieces of chicken and 3 people came.
I know how that is, yeah.
But that was in 2013. It's 2019. We still going every day.
Here we go.
The crowds came. The revenue came. The provision came. But sometimes you're gonna have to go and stop asking for permission. Now read that again. Watch this. Read it again what he said.
And as they were loosing the colt, the owners thereof said unto them, why loose ye the colt?
Now let's transition into the people who are waiting to be delivered. Some of you today are that colt. Imagine sitting there all these years, watching all the other colts get bought, all the colts getting rode, and you just tied up over there, and nobody coming to buy you. You know how discouraging that got to be? To just be sitting there and seem like nobody wants you. Your talent, nobody wants to use you. Your ideas, nobody wants to believe in you. Imagine this co-prophetess. Even the owner that owned him didn't use him. Imagine what he was thinking all this time. Some of you are that coach today who's been wondering why I've been sitting here all these years and I got so much to say, I got so much I want to do, and don't nobody give me no chance. But little did you know that the master had a great, great calling for you to be the one that he rode into Jerusalem.
Ooh, look at that. Yeah.
Some of you have been held back because you got such of a greater calling on you that he didn't want you to be tainted, that he didn't want you to be, abused and disappointed and have all these obstacles to overcome. So that's the reason why some of you ain't been used yet. But look at what happened when he tried to unloose it. Read what happened.
And the owners thereof said unto them, why loose ye the colt?
See, the people that's done been having you and been holding you back, when Hamashiach come to get you, guess what? They're going to try to fight it. That's why some of you are dealing with what you're doing while you're going in the truth. Your family's like, hold on. Not her. Not him. Why you want him? Why you want her? They didn't ever use you. They didn't ever utilize you. They didn't ever affirm you. But now that someone is coming, now all of a sudden they got a problem with it. Y'all see that? Watch this. Read verse 33. Verse 34.
And they said, the Lord hath need of him.
So, back to my people going to do the deliverance. You can't come in there with your own words. Look, man, this is not colt, man. My master, no. The Lord had need of him. Watch this. Verse 35.
And they brought him to Yeshua.
And they did what?
They brought him to Yeshua.
And they did what?
And they brought him to Yeshua.
Y'all see how that works? Don't you dare throw in the towel. No matter if you're going to get them or you waiting to be God. Whichever season that you're in right now, you have to wait. Con? All right. Now, let's go to Sirach 2. Let's go back to the Apocrypha. Yes, in your Bible, in your Apocrypha, that's Ecclesiasticus. Salak you for that. I'm just used to doing that. And if y'all who don't have an Apocrypha, you can go and Google it. You can put in Sirach chapter 2. But in your Apocrypha, it's Ecclesiasticus. Sirach is the author of it. But if you don't have one, you want to Google it, go to Google and put in Sirach chapter 2. Let's get some wisdom on this. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Watch this. Sirach 2D. Y'all there? You there? All right, let's start at verse 1.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Read that again.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord,
My son, my daughter, if you come to serve the Most High, go ahead.
prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare thy soul for temptation. Ladies and gentlemen, this temptation is not going to necessarily be to not fornicate. It's not going to be necessary to do something wicked or ungodly. The temptation, what you're going to be dealing with now in this season that you're entering into, is to go back to where you came from. Some of you right now are dealing with the temptation of these days of celebration, I would call them, of the Christian church. Your family is putting all kinds of pressure on you. You're having these celebrations on your jobs, your schools, your friends, everybody. Come on through, man, this and that. Some of you are dealing with all types of temptation. And you're feeling as if it ain't, why is this happening to me? Some of you being pulled in all types of directions. Because it's easier. Some of you right now, some of you young ladies in here, designed to be married, and you're not used to doing dating according to the things of the Bible. So you're still doing your selfies. Some of you on some Match.coms, whatever. I don't know the things. Maybe I'm talking from the 90s now. I don't know what Match.com is out there. You know what I mean? I don't know, but Snapchat or some other stuff, I don't know. Right? Some of you got some people in your DMs or whatever the case may be. Right? And you feel as if this is going to assist you along the way. Some of you gentlemen in here are trying to do better for the Most High, and you have all these business opportunities coming your way, but it's going to keep you from the Sabbath. It's going to keep you from your offerings. It's going to keep you from your alms, and it's going to keep you from doing the things that the Most High is telling you to do. But it's a great opportunity, prophets. Ladies and gentlemen, you must know that any opportunity to do things outside the Most High is not an opportunity. It's a trap. Because the devil is real good at giving what I call mirages. So when you're in that dry place, he's going to make that water, that dirt out there look just like water until you start drinking it. And then you're going to die. And it may not be a physical death, but it may be death to your finances. It may be death to your marriage. It may be death to your relationships. It may be death to your ministry. It may be death to your calling, but one way or another, death will come. Read that again for him, Deacon. It says what?
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Verse 2, go ahead.
Set thy heart aright.
Set thy heart aright.
And constantly endure.
So that means if I got to constantly endure, that means that it's not going to be just one time. That means I'm going to have to deal with this going forward. You have to understand that. I like to remind people all the time, there's no days off in the kingdom. The day you take off, the day you turn down will be the day you just set yourself back. Now, I'm not going to sit up and tell you can't have fun, you can't live. No, we're not saying that. But you have to understand that the devil's on a 24-hour, 7 days a week job to destroy you. And I always ask people, if the devil has a plan to destroy you, why you don't have a plan to destroy him? right? I mean, if you knew some individual in your community was out to bring you down, you wouldn't just sit back out and let it happen. So why are we sitting back just letting the devil have his way in our life? You need to be on the offense, not the defense.
That's right. That's right.
And what's our offensive weapon? Prayer and fasting. So the Christian church teach you to fast because you want to get something. Nah, what scripture is that? Every time they said it to me, I said, what scripture is that? Fasting is to remove the things, not to add things. Fasting is to be empowered. Fasting is bringing you the weapon to be used, not to get things. In Mark 9, when they came to the kid with the lunatic, with the unclean spirits,
Yes, yes.
and they couldn't cast them out, they had been blessed by Hamashiach. They had been given the power. But you know why they couldn't do it? Because they was caught up in everything else.
Holly, that's it.
These were the apostles. And that's why Hamashiach looked at them and said, oh, faithless generation, how long am I going to be with you? And then when he got away, because they couldn't, no, they were too ashamed to ask him in front of the crowd.
That's right. They got off to the side.
When they
Sure did.
got out to the side, they're like,
Why we could.
why we couldn't do it? And he said, these are only come out by prayer and fasting.
And fasting.
Some things, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to be equipped.
Hallelujah.
What they used to tell us in the church? Well, some of us that was in the church, they used to say, why you in here without your armor on? You need to have that armor on every day because we are fighting a war. Whether we want to believe it or not,
It's the truth.
we're at war. And the sad thing about it is a lot of our people don't even know they're at war. And that's why they're losing. Watch this. Read that again, Deke. He says what?
Set thy heart aright,
Set thy heart aright
and constantly endure,
and constantly endure. Watch this.
and make not haste in time of trouble.
And make not haste in time of trouble. You're going to want to run back. But I tell people, don't run back. Run to him. Watch this. Verse 4. Verse 3.
Cleave unto him,
Cleave unto the Most High.
and depart not away,
Mhm.
that thou mayest be increased at thy last
Y'all
end.
see that? So the increase is coming. You just got to be there to get it.
Absolutely.
Listen, I know everybody that got a job hate Mondays. But you know the reason why you keep going to work? Because you know payday coming. If you quit on Monday, it's a wrap. No check at the end of the week. Right? So that's why you got to keep going, because you understand there's a payment coming your way. Right? Watch this verse. Matter of fact, let's show them that, D. Let's get them that right quick. Let's go to Psalms 35. Let me let y'all understand that the Most High really wants to give y'all something. Because I don't want you to think that this prosperity thing is not real for Israel. The Christian church was quoting the scriptures about prosperity and blessings, but those things were spoken to Israel, right? And now that we're in it, we know we're Israel. A lot of times we like to forget those things as if that's not for us. These are really the things that are for us because we're actually keeping that law, right? Let me get that Psalms 35, verse 27. Watch this.
Let them shout for joy and
Right.
be glad.
Uh-huh.
Favor my righteous cause. Yea, let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, which has pleasure in the prosperity of his servant.
Read that again. Start from the beginning. Read that again.
Let them shout for joy
Let them shout for joy
and be glad.
and be glad. Go ahead.
That favor my righteous cause.
Then what?
Favor my righteous cause.
Notice that stipulation there. That favors my righteous call. What is this righteous call? His Torah. So if you favor that law, go ahead.
Yea, let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, which has pleasure.
Which did what?
Which has pleasure in the prosperity of his
You
servant.
see that? You think you happy when you get blessed? Ain't nobody more happy than the Most High is. He's happier than you is. So let's make him happy by getting ourselves in a position to be blessed, right? If he take pleasure in it and we take pleasure in it, I think that's a win-win, right? Right? Let's go back to Sirach. Watch this. Now let's read that again, verse 4. Let's go start at verse 4.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Whatever is brought upon you, take cheerfully, go ahead.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
This is what's going on right now, Israel. A lot of you have lost a lot of things in your journey right now in this truth. And it don't make sense to you because you say, how is it that I'm finally on the right path and I'm losing everything? That don't make sense, right? I was over here doing this and that and I was good. I start serving the Most High and I lose everything? No, what he's showing you, ladies and gentlemen, is what you got over here, it wasn't yours. Some of you right now was operating in the Ishmael blessing. When you only supposed to be gathering your Isaac blessing. Ishmael, ladies and gentlemen, is what the flesh produces. Isaac is what the spirit produces.
That's right. That's right.
See, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that the devil has set up a system where you can go off to college, get a certain amount of education, and make a certain amount of money. Therefore, you don't have to give the glory to the Most High. And people will say, I'm blessed. You is, but not by the Most High.
That's right. That's right.
You see that? So we'll go on our whole life buying houses and cars and saying we blessed. And the Most High said, that's Ishmael. I gave you Isaac. I don't see Isaac nowhere. And you notice when he would talk to Abraham, he would say, Isaac, thy only son. He would never acknowledge Ishmael. The Most High will never acknowledge anything your flesh produces. Because he didn't give it.
He didn't ordain it.
He did not ordain it. So now, when some of you are coming into the truth now, you're going to a lower state because you're realizing who the source of all this blessing was.
Woo! Come on now. Come on now.
Y'all see that? Yes. Listen, these heathens, people go up on these celebrity shows, these award shows, and say, I want to thank God. You can't be talking to my God, talking about that God told you to rap those lyrics, do those scenes, make those statements, take those pictures. No.
Not
And
the hell of Isaac,
no. And our Christian brothers and sisters get all warm and fuzzy inside and say, look at Kanye giving Jesus some credit. Y'all, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. They talking about their God, not ours.
Come on, you better say.
You understand? One nation under God. I need to know which one. Watch this. Read that again for him. Verse 4. Read that again. It says what?
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Take cheerfully.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
And be patient. Watch this. Verse 5.
For gold is tried in the fire.
Some of you right now don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, that you can be in the wilderness, out in the woods somewhere, and people walk past gold all the time. Because gold in its natural state don't look like the gold you see after it's purified. So some of you are standing in the mirror every day, you don't see gold when you see yourself. But you're pure gold.
Praise God. Hallelujah.
It's just because you ain't been purified yet. Watch this. Read that last part.
An acceptable man.
And what?
Acceptable man.
An acceptable man.
In the furnace of adversity.
In the furnace of adversity. So you're not going to look like gold until you go through that furnace of adversity. Until all that impurity stuff is burnt off of you. That's when you shine. So that's the people walk past gold all the time. They just think it's a regular rock. And some people are walking past you thinking, yo, she's just her or he's just him. And they don't know. You is still in the furnace.
The diamond in the rough.
You see that? You still in the furnace. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Now, I want to give you all an example. Let's go to 1 Samuel 30. I don't know. I ain't gonna do how we normally do. We're not gonna hold y'all for those long time. We be in it. So, but I want to show y'all this right here because I want to give you guys a true example of opportunities of what it looked like. I want to show you our ancestor when he had opportunity after opportunity to throw in the towel. And I want y'all to see this. So when you get in your situations, you can have a living example to go back and look at.
Yes.
And say, okay, yeah, this is what happened.
Praise God.
Watch this. Let's go to 1 Samuel, verse 30, chapter 30. Right? Now, let me give you some background on this so you can understand the story to its fullest. David. I'm starting 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, Saul, the king, disobeyed the Most High. And as a result of that disobedience, the Most High said he would no longer be king of Israel. And he told the prophet Samuel to go and find and anoint a new king. Right? So when you go over to chapter 16, the Bible says that he went into Bethlehem and came upon the house of Jesse. And Jesse brought out his sons, but neither of them, even though they looked the part, they were not the king. The one who was the real king was left in the fields to do the work. This goes back to what I was talking about the coat. No one even invited David to the meeting. Couldn't have been David. He's the youngest. Only thing he's good for is keeping the sheep. So David had to come in with no time to prepare, no time to get himself right, no time to wash, no time to clean, no time to do nothing. And he had to meet the Samuel. He had to meet the prophet. Why am I telling you this? Because a lot of other people went to school for what they did. You're not going to go to school for what you're called to. A lot of people get training and teaching and all this. You're not going to do that. The opportunity is just going to come. And you got to be ready. You got to be willing to stand in it right here, right now, and accept it. Right? Let's fast forward. Saul now is upset because David is anointed to be king. This is what's going to happen. Some of you in your family has counted you out. You ain't smart enough. You ain't pretty enough. You ain't strong enough. You don't got enough money. Your credit score ain't right. All this mess that the world talks about. Right? As the Most High begins to elevate you, people for no reason are going to be upset. This is what I need you to see. The decision that David made here is what's caused this problem. You must understand, ladies and gentlemen, that every problem comes from a bad decision. And what David's decision was that he messed up is that he chose to align himself with the Philistines. Now, it looked like the right thing to do at the time. That's how it always does. I'm in a dire situation. Let me go take out this loan. 29% interest. Now I'm in a world of trouble, right?
It's the truth, yes.
It looked like the right thing to do at the time, right? This is what happens. So David is out. It's one of the people, the Philistines, he's partnering with. The other Philistines don't trust him. So in chapter 29, he goes off with them to fight a battle. Leaves his family, leaves in his community unprotected. I'm talking to the men here now, right? As he gets there, the other Philistine says, you know what? We don't trust you. I don't want you fighting with us because in the middle of the battle, you may start attacking us, right? His man said, okay, David, y'all just go back home. Now we're here in chapter 30. So he left to do something with some people he shouldn't have been with, and this is what he comes home to. 1 Samuel, chapter 30, verse 1.
And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day.
Now, I need you guys to remember that when they got back. This is very important because I need you to see the Most High in this. What day did they get back?
Third day.
Third day. Go ahead.
That the Amalekites invaded the south.
Now, these dirty Amalekites. Ladies and gentlemen, we still dealing with these guys today. And I hope each and every one of you that are in here today will be coming to our Purim celebration on February 15th. We're going to tell you about these Amalekites there. Right? So, just wanted to put that out there. But we're still dealing with these guys today. And this is because of what Saul didn't do in chapter 15.
He didn't do. That's right.
You see that? So let me pause there, prophetess. There's going to be some things that the Most High is going to tell you to do that's going to seem very difficult, and it's not going to make a lot of sense. You better do it. You better do it.
That's true. Yes. Yes.
Because Saul, not doing what he was told to do in chapter 15, lost the kingship.
That's right.
His sons was killed. Mephibosheth ended up in Lodabar.
That's right.
Whole line done.
That's right.
And Israel is still dealing with these same Amalekites.
That's right.
Till this day.
That's right.
The Most High's vision is so much deeper than ours, y'all. So you don't need to ever question what he said to do. There's always purpose behind it.
Yes. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that was very,
Beautiful.
very
Beautiful.
important
I
to
like
bring that out.
Yes. Yes.
So now, as a result of David not doing it, here we go again.
Yeah.
Another situation dealing with a problem that should have been dealt with. Watch this. Who came deep?
That the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag had smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire.
You see that? Men. Some of you made some decisions to go off and do other things in life. I'm gonna go hang with the boys. I'm gonna go work some overtime. And you left your family defensive. See, everything that men have done that caused their families to go down, it's not necessarily a sin. It just wasn't the right thing to do. It may seem innocent.
Speak, Father.
I'm gonna go to church next time. I'm gonna have that conversation with him next year. I'm gonna listen next time. There ain't gonna always be a next time. And for our communities, while our men was out doing what they were doing in the streets, throwing up, doing all of the things that they were doing, the enemy came in and destroyed our communities. We see it. Men left. Look at what happened. Watch this. Verse 2.
And had taken the women captive,
And have taken the women captive.
and that were therein, they slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way.
Y'all see that? So when y'all see these reality TV shows, when y'all see this stuff going on social media, when y'all see these women portray themselves the way they do, that's the men's fault. I correct every man that want to talk about how no good our women are now. No, brother, that's our fault. Because we only wanted to date the loose women. We only wanted to prop up the loose women. And we made the prodigal women and the virtuous women feel bad. Now they done took their clothes off too. Men, we have a responsibility to set standards. And we didn't do it. We want to come back home after the fact. And we need to talk about this, man. We need to be held accountable for this. I don't want to entertain no conversation talking about no women who don't want to submit. I don't want to hear no conversation about men talking about women don't want to do this. Women, I don't want to hear it. Where were you when the women was taking the church to the church? Where were you when the women had to do the homework? Where were you? We must understand these things. These things have to be addressed when it comes to Israel. We want to sit around all these elders getting on talking about women and this prophet is just, it makes me angry. Because the responsibility to lead was given to men. Watch this. So they didn't get killed, but they got took away. Watch this. Verse 5, verse 3.
So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captive. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep.
Y'all ever just cry until you couldn't cry no more? I know I have. Well, you just done gave everything. You don't know what else you're gonna do. And it's what you do in those times right there is what's going to determine how the outcome will be. Watch this. Verse 5.
And David's 2 wives were taken captive, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed. For
Right.
the people spake of stoning him.
Now listen, now another problem. He got to deal with the fact that he wasn't there. He got to deal with the fact that his wives and his children are gone. He got to be held accountable that he done brought all this pain on his men. And now some guys want to stone him. When it rains, it pours, don't it? Watch this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him.
Right.
Because the soul of all the people were grieved.
Right.
Every man for his son and for his daughter.
Now, before I read this last part, I need y'all to see here. David has a lot of choices he can make here. He can do A. I'm the king. Everybody got a problem with me? I'm killing you. That's one choice. B. He can run. I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going to take a couple of faithful men and we're going to leave. C. He can submit, crumble under pressure, and get stoned.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Yes, yes.
But there's also another choice. Let's see what he did, D.
But David encouraged himself in the Lord.
He did what?
But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he gave up.
He encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he got mad.
Encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he went on Facebook and started posting.
Encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he went up live and said, I'm going to call them all out.
Encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he went down and stood and said, what's up?
Encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
No, he took his shirt off and said, who want a Hollywood coat?
Encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
You see that? That was a little outcast ready for y'all. Right? In the midst of this, he encouraged himself. Ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be some days when you are the only encouragement you're going to have.
That's right. That's right. It's the truth.
But it's always going to be about that foundation. You know why?
Hallelujah.
You know why?
Thank you.
Because when David was out there with the sheep, guess what he was doing all day? Writing them psalms. Y'all think these psalms came just from nowhere?
Come on.
This
you better
came from
say-
life.
Came from life. That's right. That's right.
So when he got in this place, I didn't have the Sabbath gathering to go to. I can't go to the elders now. I got to encourage myself.
That's right.
Don't you dare throw in the towel.
Yes, yes, yes.
Watch this. Watch this. Verse 7. Watch this.
And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David.
So the ephod is what the priest will put on to go worship. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand that his children has been taken, his wives has been taken, people are talking about stoning him, and David's standing out there worshiping. The people probably thought he was crazy. The Bible in Chronicles says that worship paralyzes and confuses the enemy. They don't understand why you praising God.
Come on now.
I just lost everything and I'm still saying thank you. My house burned down and I'm still saying thank you. My wife walked away and I'm still saying thank you. They just gave me a bad doctor report and I'm still saying thank you.
All things give thanks.
And all things. Don't you dare throw in the towel.
Yes, yes.
See, what we misunderstand, ladies and gentlemen, is that we think praise, ladies and gentlemen, is thanking God for what he's done. Worship is thanking for who he is.
Oh, come on now.
Do you know that the first time the word worship was in the Bible was in Genesis 22?
Yes.
And guess what he had to do? Sacrifice his son. He said, I'm going to the mountain, me and the lad to worship. And he said, and me and him shall return.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
So worship, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to be a cozy time. It's not going to be with everybody there. when I'm in a congregation and I'm seeing people sitting there with a stale face, I know that they don't worship at home. That's why they're uncomfortable, because that's the first time they worship. If worshiping the only time you do it on the gatherings, you are in trouble.
You are. That's right.
People probably think I'm crazy when I'm riding down the road by myself. I'm going in.
I'm going in. Yes. Hallelujah. Absolutely. Yes, yes.
You understand? I'm going in. Now, when the Shabbat comes, now we can turn up together, but hey, I don't need y'all, bro. Hey. You done enough. You understand? Watch this. Verse 8.
And David inquired at the Lord, saying,
Right?
Shall I pursue after this troop?
Now, notice the question that he asked. He didn't say, God, look at what these people doing to me. Or, God, why you let this happen to me? He worshiped, and what did he ask?
Shall I pursue after this troop?
Mm-hmm.
Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue.
Pursue. Don't you dare throw in the towel. I don't care how bad it look right now. Because the Most High has a way of seeing what you can't see. Watch this. You're going to see this. Watch this. Go ahead.
Pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them.
You shall overtake them.
And without fail.
And with what?
Without fail.
And what?
Without fail.
And without fail, do what?
Recover all.
Recover all. Y'all see that? It looks really bad right now. But now, that's a little bit of light that starts shining out, right? But look, notice, they ain't back yet. Watch this, walk with me. Verse 9.
So David went, and he and the 600 men that were with him,
Right.
and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed.
Right.
But David pursued, and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook
Ladies
Besor.
and gentlemen, everybody ain't going. This is another opportunity to fail here. David could have been saying, well, y'all ain't going with me. I thought we was ride or die. You can't get caught up in who not going with you. Because the Most High already said, you shall recover all. But you would think in the flesh, in the carnal mind, would say, I need all the numbers to do this. You think the Most High was taking into consideration, you think the Most High didn't know that these 200 wasn't going to go when he told them you were going to recover all?
Know the end from the beginning.
See that? So some of you right now are ready to quit because some people saying, no, I can't do it. I can't show up. Or that money I was going to give you, I can't do it. You think when the Most High told you to go do it, that he already knew they was going to do that? Watch this. So now he done lost 200 men. Right after the declaration, 200 men done shut down on him. Watch this. Verse 12.
And they found an Egyptian in the field.
They did what?
And they found an Egyptian in the field.
Right.
And brought him to David, and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water.
Now, how many of you, in the midst of the worst day of your life, gonna take time to be a blessing to somebody else? And it wasn't even an Israelite.
I love this. I love it. I love it.
That was a Gentile. Another opportunity to fail.
Another opportunity.
Some of you to be like, man, look, bro. A, B, hey, yo, if you hear when I get back, bro, I promise, bro, I got you. Right? Some of you be like, man, that's a Gentile, man. Hey, man, Kwam Yasharala. Right? Let's just be real. Give me, hold that right there. Give me Galatians 69 right there. Watch this. Watch this.
Hallelujah.
Give me Galatians 6, 9, and 10. I need y'all to see this. Watch this.
And let us not be weary in well doing.
Let us not be weary in well doing.
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Y'all see that? Some of us right now are in this place because nothing good has been happening to you. You don't want to do nothing good for nobody. And not even realizing that your deliverance, your breakthrough is connected to your goodness.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Say it now.
Watch this, verse 10.
As we have therefore opportunity.
As we have what?
Therefore opportunity.
Nah, when it's convenient.
Therefore opportunity.
Nah, because I got the money to do it.
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Let us do good unto all men.
Nah, just the Israelites.
All men.
Just the people that go to our church.
All men.
Just the people who's calling the God I call on.
All men.
All men.
Especially.
What if they got a Confederate flag up in the house?
All men.
No, what if they white?
All men.
What if they called me a nigga the other day?
All men.
Uh-huh.
Especially unto them who are of the household of faith.
Especially to them that are of Israel. But he said all men.
That's what he said, all men.
Now, y'all see that? Watch this. Now, let's go back. You know, just say precept upon precept. Upon 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established.
That's right, that's right.
Watch this. Now, so we see the Egyptian that came and they gave him bread and water, verse 12.
And they gave him a piece of a cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him. For he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights.
How long?
3 days and 3 nights.
Oh. What I tell y'all to remember before?
3 days.
Y'all see that?
Yes. That's right.
Another opportunity to fail. Man, look, man, it's a long way down there with the M&S thing, man. We gonna need this food, bro. A Gentile, he ain't got no money he put in on none of this, bro. Taking the food that they may need, they don't know how long this battle gonna happen. But because they saw this man in need, they did it. They don't see any opportunity for this man to do anything for them. They just seen this man in need. Watch this. Verse 13.
And David said unto him, To whom belongest thou? And where art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite.
He said, servant to whom?
Servant to an Amalekite.
I'm a servant to who?
To an Amalekite. And my master left me because 3 days ago.
When?
3 days ago.
When?
3 days ago, I fell sick.
Y'all see that? Y'all think this is a coincidence? I think not. Don't you dare throw in the towel. You see how the Most High work? Now, if they done roll past this man, blessing. Some of you right now get ready to ride past your blessing.
Woo!
Some of you are overlooking your blessing. Some of you overlooking your husband. Some of you overlooking your wife. Oh, he don't look the way I thought he was supposed to look. Well, she don't act like I thought she was supposed to act. I thought he was going to do a little bit more than that. Watch this. Watch this. This is the Bible now. This ain't the book of Leviticus I'm reading here. Watch this. Verse 14.
We made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire.
Whoa. Another opportunity to fail. All right, now, another opportunity to fail. Guess what? This Gentile that just ate up all their food was one of the people that burnt down their spot. What would you do in this situation? You gonna pull out the sword? That's what some would do. Get out my camp. Let's see. Verse 15.
And David said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company?
Right?
And he said, Swear unto me by God that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing.
So your enemy right now, they listen, bro. They party. They think they don't won. They think it's all good, and they don't know their destruction is at the door. All of the people that's making the laws against us, all of the people that's sitting amongst their little temples and their little synagogue, passing all these things, saying what they're gonna do to us, they don't even know how much ink is right on the door. Coming. Watch this. Verse 17. No, go ahead, finish verse 8.
eating and drinking and dancing because all of the great spoil they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah.
What happened?
And David smote them
He did what?
and David smote them from the twilight even until the evening of the next day.
Uh-huh.
And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled.
Right?
And David recovered all.
And David did what?
And David recovered all.
And David did what?
And David recovered all
Uh-huh.
that the Amalekites had carried away.
Uh-huh.
And David rescued his 2 wives.
He did what?
Rescued his 2 wives.
What else happened?
And there was nothing lacking.
There
to
was
them.
not what?
And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither son nor daughter, neither spoil nor anything that had taken to them. David recovered all.
Don't you dare throw in the towel. Y'all see that? So I don't care how the situation looks. I don't care what has happened. You will recover all that is yours. But if you throw in the towel, defeat is guaranteed. You keep fighting, you're going to win.
Hallelujah. Beautiful.
Hallelujah.
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 Let's give the Most High some praise.